Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne is a game where you are thrown into an event called the Conception with two of your friends. The Conception is an event that allows people to obtain a reason, and that reason will create a new world. Once in the Conception, you find yourself in the Vortex world, full of demons and weird characters alike. One of these weird characters feeds you a Magatama that transforms you into the Demi-Fiend, part demon and part human. It is then with these powers that you go and basically choose the fate of the new world that is born after the Conception. The game is a typical turn-based JRPG, with a few mechanics that make its combat unique to Shin Megami Tensei. It has nice features like the auto button, a button that just allows you to speed up the battle process by having you and all of your allies just use their basic attack. The extra turn, where you either crit an enemy or hit its weakness to gain an extra turn, but also losing turns if you hit an enemy with something that doesn't affect them, which also both of these apply to the enemy as well. The ability to pass turns onto your next party member, and let's not forget about the fun demon recruiting mechanic that we all know and love from these games. It also features overworld mechanics like random encounters with a danger meter in the bottom right that lets you know how close you are to your next battle, talking to random NPCs, healing spaces, the Cathedral of Shadows where you are allowed to fuse your demons, shops, minigames, a map, and objects in chests for you to collect. Most of these things are fine, but some are far greater than others, and some fall flat. Recruiting a demon can be punishing if you mess up the prompt that they give you at the end, which is honestly really annoying, especially if you're me and you failed at least 70% of these. Though when you do get enough demons, fusing them to get stronger demons is always a blast, as you get to sit and see how strong you and your party can become. The random encounter system is fine, and a lot of JRPGs, especially of Nocturne's time, use this method, but I think this method is dated and sometimes annoying, and I'd much rather be in control of how many demons I encounter, like in Shin Megami Tensei 4 for Apocalypse, and Persona 3, 4, and 5. The game also doesn't do a good job of guiding you in the right direction in terms of where you need to go sometimes. I've had moments where I've been stuck because a character told me to explore one location, but the place I needed to go to further the plot is somewhere else, and I honestly felt like I wasted so much of my time. I feel content with most other things in terms of gameplay mechanics about Nocturne, but there is more to this game than just the mechanics. The next most important thing about Nocturne is, well, its story, and I really don't feel anything towards it. Now, this doesn't make me say that it's just okay. This is a bad thing. Nocturne has some really good emphasis on people's greed and goals, but I honestly can't feel anything towards any of them. This is because there honestly isn't much character development due to Nocturne focusing on world building. This emphasis on world building is there to try and guide you into the decision that you would intend to make for the new world of Nocturne's universe, but I personally just could not care less about it, because I simply do not have anything driving my decisions except my own morality. Maybe that's the point of Nocturne, but I feel like other Shin Megami Tensei titles make you care for the world it creates, through both world building and its characters, which Nocturne is missing half of that. Nocturne sets out to do what the developers intended to, but for me, it's lost my investment and emotions, which is something that I had when I played the other games in the series. Now, this is not me outright calling the story bad, it just makes it harder for me to play, and this is not the only reason. The game is almost 20 years old by this point, and has been a victim to the passing of time. I'm of the belief that Nocturne is one of the more deserving titles in the franchise of the title Classic. But that's just it. It's classic, and it doesn't hold up as well as it probably did when it released. And I'm not the only person who feels this way about the game either, which is honestly great to know that I'm not going crazy here. I like to think of Nocturne like one of my old favorite games to talk about to people, Earthbound. I like some elements of the story of Earthbound just like I enjoy some of the elements of the story to Nocturne. But Earthbound is a game that is just too old and too long for me to see it through to the end. So rather than me playing it, I feel like I'm forcing myself to. And instead of having fun, I'm making the game mature. I do feel this a lot less when I'm playing Nocturne for sure. There are moments in the game where I'm genuinely having a good time, but sometimes I feel like I need to push myself through this part that I really just don't want to do, and with all these random encounters, it just makes the game more tedious and not enjoyable for me. This also has nothing to do with the supposed difficulty of Nocturne. This is purely based on the design and the layout of the game. Now that I've talked about the base game, it's time to talk about the HD Remaster. I already have a problem with the title of the game and how the games industry skews the word remaster to try and make people buy their games again, so it's already off to a poor start with me. The HD Remaster is rather sloppy and not worth its release price at all. You are met with various bugs, a compressed soundtrack, and cutscenes that are really disjointed as they are just ripped from the original release of the game. The remaster does do some things right, for instance, allowing you to choose demon skills, adding a merciful difficulty for people who want to just cruise through the game, and the ability to suspend your game so that you can leave without having to find or return to a terminal to save your game. Overall, Nocturne is a decent JRPG of its time, but it's suffered to times passing with the mechanics from more modern JRPGs outshining the title. I wouldn't start my Shin Megami Tensei journey at Nocturne, but I would certainly recommend it to people after they play some of the more modern titles. If I had to give Nocturne a score, it'd be a 7 out of 10, because the game isn't without its flaws, and it doesn't have enough in it to outweigh them. What do you guys think about my opinion of Nocturne, or Nocturne in general? Let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more content from me. And with that all being said and done, my name is Resident Unleashed, the resident who is a little bit scared of upsetting fans of Nocturne, but unleashing this video out into the world anyway to stay true to herself, and I'll catch you all next time.